Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I really appreciate your time. I wanted to just very quickly talk about the conversation right now that's going on concerning Pearly Things and her very cringe interview that she chose to do with Nick Fuentes, who is a very known white supremacist, like a proud white supremacist. It's his aesthetic pretty much. It's very clear how he feels about black people and what his views are regarding interracial dating.
So that's why they call you a white supremacist.
That is why they say that.
Because you feel like by changing the entire demographic makeup of a country, it's going to completely change the country. The same way if in Poland they switched it out with Nigerians, it would be a completely different country.
Exactly, yeah.
This idea that the more people from different ethnicities and other countries come into one specific space, how that taints America, how that brings down the, the true Americana heritage. He's been very clear about this. So for Pearl to really think that this was going to go well reveals to me that she is exactly who I always thought she was, and that is a white person looking to come into a space to fill a position once Kevin Samuels died, and her whole mentality was just to grift.
Tonight's program is going to be a flamethrower. You've been forewarned. Well, I've been spending all this time telling people about integrity and why that matters, and it seems a lot of folks are just used to letting snakes snuggle up right next to them here. And now exactly what I predicted it was going to occur the whole damn time has come to pass. I warned everyone a long time ago about some of these carpetbaggers and culture vultures. I even said, you know what, if some of these Kevin Samuels listeners who have spent their whole time sitting up here with no integrity, you're going to turn around and they're going to be led by a white woman one day. And sure enough, that's come to pass too. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Justpearlythings, she basically is a little white girl who made very few bones about the fact that she just saw this as something she could make money off of, and she has been an interloper into it ever since.
And it's not based off of the fact that she cares about these issues personally, or that she feels like, the issues specifically affecting the black community are ones that are important to her. She sees that they are lucrative. She sees that she can come in, provide equipment, microphones, lighting, and put these black people on a platform, right? And just let them go. Just basically set them up and let them go. Let them say whatever they want. Let them say controversial things. Let them say anti-black things. Let them say colorist things. Let them say all sort of things. Let them argue amongst each other. And she can basically just sit there and moderate and lead the conversation. And she doesn't really have to do a lot of work outside of the production part of it, outside of hiring the talent. She can just put these people here, allow them to talk about things that she sees has been lucrative already, sees gets viewership, sees gets engagement. Like I said, her inviting Nick Fuentes onto her platform lets me know that she doesn't have respect for the black people that she is hiring, the respect for the black people that she's bringing on the show, the talent, the co-hosts, the commentators, for the issues concerning black Americans and black folks across the diaspora. These are not topics that are personal and near and dear to her, which is why she went on to say that slavery is oftentimes exaggerated in media.
But they don't talk about the more nuanced things that happened in slavery. And I forgot what founding father, but they were talking about how he really he inherited slaves, and he actually had a really good relationship with them. He didn't make any money off the farm, but it was if he freed them, what would they do? Right. And so he kind of looked at it as, I have to take care of them, and he wasn't even making money off of the farm. But then they say you're even now I'm oh gosh.
Well, and that is something that happened when that was one of the big arguments against the abolition of slavery.
There are really white people who believe that when black Americans talk about slavery and we talk about the racism that we have faced in America, that all of it is an exaggeration, that we are, using the race card, that we are trying to victimize ourselves. So that whole narrative is really something I believe that Pearl truly deep down inside believes in. Another reason why I think she went ahead and did this is because she knows who her audience is. She knows that majority of her audience is made up by self-hating black men. I'm just gonna be very frank about it. Like, she knows that her audience is made up of certain types of individuals who are looking to hear certain talking points, who are looking to see certain type of conversations, who feel as though that they are looking for someone to pick up where they felt like Kevin Samuels left off. And so she understands that I can probably get away with this. I can probably do this. I can probably bring a known white supremacist on my platform, and majority of my audience is gonna, rock with it because they already have identity issues. They already are not as connected to their race as is. So they'll let me slide. And I think that's what she was really thinking. I don't think for her, this was her outing herself like other people have said in their videos about this topic. I don't think this was her trying to slowly introduce her racism to her audience. I think she did not feel that she was ever in danger of really getting in trouble, because in the video, in the clip, she talks about how YouTube is going to actually come after her. But I don't think she was ever, at any point, at any stage in this interview, I don't think she ever felt uncomfortable. I don't think she ever felt like she was going to get backlash. I think she felt safe. And I think, like I said, the real reason is because she is aware that her audience consists of a certain type of young black male who is looking to hear certain things said, looking to hear certain conversations. They're looking for certain, biases that they already have to be confirmed. And the type of content that she puts out is repetitive gender wars conversations that really don't serve to get to any real purpose, or don't really are not trying to offer solutions. It's just about hurling blame back and forth. That's why she brings certain women on the podcast that can't really articulate and express themselves a certain type of way. And that's why she brings certain men on the podcast who already have certain ideas and are just going to parrot and sort of give her audience exactly what they want to hear. The issue with this really is, and why I feel like these movements like the Manosphere, like the divestment movement, and like feminism, all of these movements that are based off of people who are looking to have certain problematic ideas that they have, that are oftentimes a reflection of themselves, looking for that to be confirmed by others, like these sort of large groups of people, is because people are not interested in learning how to be different, learning how to change. And especially if you talk about, like, specifically the dating market, as they constantly talk about, people are not interested in competing. So women are going to flock towards, groups and movements and ideologies that tell them that you're fine how you are. You don't have to do this. You don't have to compete. You don't have to, make yourself look better. You don't have to lose weight. You don't have to have these abilities. You don't have to do this for a man. You don't have to do that for a man. You could just basically just do nothing. You don't have to bring anything. You don't have to have any aspects that are attractive. A man is just supposed to love you and care for you and pay for your bills just because you exist. You're going to have young men flock to movements who do the same thing. You don't have to have good hygiene. You don't have to have, good social skills. You don't have to have a job. You don't have to have a car. You don't have to have any sort of thing to attract a woman. You don't have to be presentable. You don't have to speak well. You don't have to be respectful. You don't have to have life experiences. You don't have to have maturity. You don't have to have skills. Like, you don't have to have any of these things. You as a man should be enough for a woman to just submit to you. This is literally the problem. Like, this is the problem, is that people don't want to be told how to become better versions of themselves, how to be accountable for their own behavior.
Is Edward in this car? There you go. What's on your mind, Edward?
Yeah, I just had an issue with you attacking the Manosphere as a whole. Because it's I always thought that the business channel that you set up, you would talk about some of the Manosphere issues. And I think attacking the entire Black Manosphere, not recognizing, you have PhDs there. You have people exploring Black male studies. You have men with issues. Okay. Men and someone to talk about their issues, and you're just tearing the whole thing down.
Okay. They're booed up with a white supremacist female, sir. What part of that do you expect me to stand by?
Yeah, there's a Pearly thing. She exists, but you think the Manosphere is reducible to those guys and Pearly things?
Sir, you're the one using their term of Black Manosphere. So you are signing up for their term, sir. Right, but Black Manosphere has a specific perspectives, though, sir.
That's what it is. Perspective isn't Pearly things. Perspective isn't O'Shea Duke. Perspective is an MTR. It's
Yeah,
whatever, man.
but the perspective is what created Pearly Things.
Pearly Things was talking about things from a male perspective.
Okay, but the Black Manosphere is who opened the doors and made a gate and a lane for her.
So the gate of talking about male issues, men need to talk about the issues. The only other thing on the other side of that is feminism.
But we don't need to bring in these suspected white supremacist females. Actually, we don't need anybody who believes that we need white people to be involved in Black discussions. We don't need a white referee.
It's definitely racist, definitely
right. But okay, it doesn't matter about her, sir. There's never a lane for a white referee in our discussions.
The Black Manosphere welcomes attention because they're competing up against much stronger forces. They can't compete with feminism that has gender studies departments across in all universities.
But sir, they're a manosphere that doesn't have any men.
They are shunned from media. You don't see any manosphere stuff.
But sir, my point was that there's an oxymoron. The Black Manosphere, it isn't black, it's led by a white woman, and it's not a manosphere because there are no men.
It's a lot bigger than just the Pearly Things. She's a side little thing on the side. She's nothing.
Okay, but no, sir, it's not nothing. It's indicative of what their core values are. They showed what their core values are, and we know that those are their core values because she bet everything on how they would respond, and when she showed up, they responded exactly the way she thought they would.
Hey, man, those guys, definitely, they might have hung themselves out to dry, but the whole thing, the whole project itself, it can't go down. It's a lot bigger than that.
But sir, it doesn't. It's a lot bigger. What is it doing?
It's at least starting the conversation that people have been trying to have for generations. Black first could work for male studies, but in the wider world, we have a general gender war going on. You need to have two sides to the conversation. That's basically it.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't need two. No, you don't need two sides to a conversation. No, you don't.
The entire conversation, and we have no involvement in it, and we don't counter narrative anything.
Okay, sir, we don't need two sides to a conversation. As men, it's our job to lead.
Well, I don't know how you're just going to sit there and buckle down and tell them to follow you and do whatever you want.
Okay, sir, you can't lead anybody if you don't have resources or superior intellect. You can't lead anybody.
Yeah. I'm not looking to dominate the women.
Okay, sir, it's not about dominance, sir. It is about the fact that masculinity, by definition, is supposed to assume a certain position. But brother, like I say, the Black Manosphere is a corrupt concept to begin with. Blackness is enough. If a black man puts himself in a position of power, wealth, and influence, then he gets to have a one-way conversation. Women naturally and biologically submit to a man who is in a position of leadership and competence. Are you in a position of leadership and competence?
No.
Then you can sit there and intellectually masturbate about your manosphere all you want to. It'll go nowhere.
Those issues go unaddressed, so somebody's got to stand up and say something.
But you're not qualified to stand. Nobody's going to listen to you if you ain't leading. Do you understand that? Nobody's going to listen to you if you're not leading.
Why was such a fight to get a manosphere going in the first place?
But sir, nobody's going to listen to a great big group of weak, powerless individuals. You don't understand that?
They want to go to a space where someone is telling them that you're fine. It's not you. It's not you. It's those people over there. They are the problem. So black men, it's not you, black men. It's not you. It's the black women. That's what people are looking for. And unfortunately, that feverish sort of thirst to find that has led the manosphere to this very, very embarrassing situation where you have a white woman who probably never really cared about y'all, never really cared about your issues, never really cared about the things that are important to you, just wanted to make money off of you. She just wanted to find a way to identify the most viewed, monetizable content, which is right now things that deal with gender wars. When I was first introduced to Pearly Things, the very first time I found her video, watched her content, I knew right away that I wasn't going to be able to fuck with her. Not specifically because I felt like she was saying things that I thought was offensive or wrong. It's just the same talking points everyone regurgitates. It's the same exact ones. Everyone says the same thing. It's literally the same. But what I found to be extremely problematic and concerning was that there was a white woman who provided a platform for other black people to bash other black people, to have, basically facilitating conversations where we talk about the things that we dislike in our community, where we, argue with each other and, literally viciously attack each other, while she just sits there and takes super chats and kind of like instigates and fuels the fire. So I originally saw that. I wasn't here for it. I was like, this is weird. This is problematic. I don't know how she's going to really find her way in this space, because to me, it's very obviously problematic. Well, as I said in the beginning of this video, because her audience consists of self-hating black men, majority self-hating black men, they would absolutely love, what's not the best thing ever is to have an average looking white woman, the kind of white woman who's not gorgeous, she's not beautiful, she's not model-esque, so her appearance isn't intimidating, right? So she doesn't remind them of the type of white women who would reject them or make them, not feel like they're good enough. So she has a non-intimidating, basic, mild white woman, looks, okay? She wears dresses. She doesn't wear makeup. She doesn't wear any of those things, MGTOW, sort of those type of men in those spaces say are the things that women do to trick men and all this other sort of stuff. So she has a very mild, basic, non-threatening demeanor. She is a woman in this manosphere space. So unlike with other men who, again, bring up, insert the issue of competition and, okay, well, she's I'm a male content creator. He's a male content creator. We have to fight each other for attention. Well, it's not the same when it's a woman doing it. So I think a lot of the reason why a lot of the male content creator, like mediocre tutorials and O'Shea and all of those guys welcomed her is because she was a woman. So they immediately don't count her as competition. They see, oh, I can jump on her bandwagon, and our audiences, our cross audiences, can support us both. And again, it's because she's a woman, and her being white is like the cherry on top, right? So you have this non-threatening, average white woman parroting other, MGTOW, red pill, manosphere talking points, and she's basically agreeing with everything. She's not really offering any pushback. That is, she was literally the perfect person for this. She was the perfect content creator for this type of content, and I believe that's why her channel grew so fast, is because she serves and affirms and massages all these different areas that I think a lot of times men in the manosphere are not really paying attention to, which is exactly why they would be drawn to this type of movements to begin with. Because men who have success in real life, whether it's in dating or in their endeavors, men who have wins, men who are doing what they want to do in their lives, their self-esteem is not as fragile, right? They're not as easily tricked. They're not as easily led astray because they have their own wins, their own ideas about the world, their own life experiences to guide them. So they're not looking for content creators online to represent them. They're not looking for daddies. They're not looking for male figures. They're not looking for that because they have them. They have enough success in their own life to focus on that. And so I honestly just think it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that you have so many young black men who do feel lost, who are looking for leadership because they weren't able to get it in their fathers. They weren't able to get it in their uncles and the men in their actual real lives. And like I say all the time, the stand-up men, the men who are actually out here doing things. Other than like Jason Black, I think Jason Black is like a good middle of the road content creator who I feel has actual success on and offline, and he is more interested about talking about how men could get to where he's been rather than blaming and placing blame on other people, right? So there may be more, but I'm unfamiliar with them because I don't really watch that type of content. But it's not in droves, right? So there's not a lot of male manosphere content creators who seem to be more focused on helping men get to a better place where they have confidence, where they feel that they can go and have success. And so they're not so dependent on these spaces to just have space to vent and just feel heard. And again, it's not to demonize that, because of course we all want that. We all are ultimately looking for people that we feel are our kin, that we feel are similar to us, that we feel we can have conversations about things that matter, and that we can share that kind of camaraderie with others. The issue is if you're bonding with people based off of failure, you're bonding with people based off of lack of confidence, you're bonding with people based off of the fact that you're a loser, he's a loser, we're a loser, so let's all be losers together. That's not it. That's not going to save you. That's not going to elevate you. And you're going to keep having white people, or just maybe not even a white person, but people like Pearl, who see that and victimize you for it. Who see that so many of y'all are looking, searching, wanting someone to be disruptive, wanting someone to be controversial in the way that confirms a lot of the biases that certain types of men look for as an excuse to not compete, to not go after certain things, to provide an escape from reality. You're going to keep having people take advantage of you. You're going to keep having people who are not interested in helping you. They're only interested in making money off of you. And that's embarrassing, ultimately. It's embarrassing. But yes, that's all I really have to say on this topic. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Hit the like button and comment below if you're feeling what I'm saying, and comment below if you're not feeling what I'm saying. All that I ask is that you be respectful. All right? Thank you. Bye.